Breaking the wall of nature-based learning for eco-recovery. Chuan Ng, Xiamen University, Malaysia.
As students and learners, we often repeat the routines of sitting in the lecture hall, staring at the slides, and also listening to lecture. Despite technology advancements, the process of education and learning has remained the same for generations. We have learned about environmental issues such as deforestation, climate change, and pollutions. But we are so disconnected with the environmental issues that are happening outside our classroom windows. Where we don't see the problems with our real eyes, we often be a passive spectator, that we do not know it exists. As most of you know, there's always the what that we have learned in our classroom, but the how to solve it is the crucial point. As you may also know, education is a basic human right, or rather, quality education is a basic human right. But what we have is, despite we are trapped and in the old and outdated systems that we call passive learning. As a result, this is the wall that we need to break. The wall between theoretical learning as well as real environmental actions. Imagine a world that we do not need to sit in the classroom to learn about the environment. A world that we can use our hands to touch the soil, we can use our feet to feel the earth, and our hearts to get connected to the ecosystem that we want to save. That's the visions of nature-based learning, NBL in short, that it provides an immersive outdoor and hands-on experiential learning that we provide to our participants. Let me introduce to our projects, which known as Vetiver BioR. It was just established about a year ago, and we are providing engagements through our participants with the nature. Our project is rather interesting, as we provide opportunity for people just like you and I to work with various science experts to solve environmental problems through the environment. Our project is also inclusive, as in our past records, we have students as well as children as young as 5 years old up to senior citizens. In fact, we support women where we have more than 60% of our participants as well as our team core organizing members are female. Our project is about using a magical grass called Vetiver to rehabilitate the affected soil. Of course, planting is not the only activities we do. Through our hands-on workshops, project activities are made to the project locations that are designed based on the surveys and inputs that we gathered from our local community. Just to name a few, we have the outdoor lectures, we do have the soap making and paper making, and of course, we do have the eco-farm touring as well. And all these have given an impact where our participants are engaged with the problems and we are providing them, and they do see the solution themselves. As a result, as we are relatively new, we are very pleased to announce that our project has engaged more than 500 participants from across different backgrounds, as I mentioned earlier. We have able to restore 4 project locations across 2 countries, Malaysia as well as Thailand, and it shows the scalability and replicability of our projects. Thirdly, we have planted over more than 4,500 vetiver grasses and other native plants in our project locations. We also provide the opportunities for product innovations as well as eco-entrepreneurships through our paper and soap making activities. We are also able to support the livelihoods and empower many communities, and of course, we are able to align with many international commitments, such as the United Nations Decades of Ecosystem Restorations, 2021 to 2030, as well as multiple Sustainable Development Goals. Just to name a few, SDG 4, quality educations, where we foster outdoor learning activities, SDG 13, climate actions, where we provide carbon sequestrations through the vetiver planting, as well as SDG 15 for restoration of our land. And just to name a fact, do you know that about 1 kilogram of carbon, atmospheric carbon, could be sequestered through just 1 meter square of vetiver planting? And we will still further validate this with our carbon sequestration expert in our project sites. In short, we have gained more than 90% of our participants gain new knowledge, and most of them feel empowered and more connected to the nature. As a summary, we need to understand that the power of nature-based learning is not just about outdoor learning, but it is more about having the transitions from learning curve to the real actions. Let's just step up from the classroom learning to real climate actions through nature-based learning. In a nutshell, let's just all be a part of the solution, but never the pollution through nature-based learning. Thank you very much for your attention.
Do we have questions? Oh, yes, here. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you give us an example of how practically you have supported livelihoods locally?
Well, as I said, this project is relatively new and they are very selective. You see, we started to work with the local communities where we design the project activities that cater to their needs. We want to understand what they do needs first. So for examples, when we go and reach out to these local communities, we ask them what are their local problems here. Some of them, they do have soil erosion problems. Another one thing that I did not manage to talk about is the grass itself, the vetiver grass that I'm using. So it helps to solve the problem and it helps to reduce the erosion problem and the land affected area in their community, for example. This is just one of them.
We have another question. Yeah.
Thank you. Lovely presentation. I was just wondering if you were going to flag up one unique feature or the standout feature of your project that makes it stand out from other nature-based learning things, what would that be?
I think it's the community-based activities because we do invite scientists in our projects as well, which I did not manage to really talk about because we work as a part of citizen science approach. In our past projects, especially in Thailand itself, we have scientists, including myself, working such as material scientists, engineers, entomologists coming in to talk about the projects, but in a simple manner. We know science is complex itself, but when we bring it to the committee, we always try to make it not technical and less jargon as much as possible. That is the USP of our project. Thank you for your question.
We have a question here, and then, yeah, if we have time.
Just this community-based activities that you mentioned, so making ecotourism and some other items, were those defined by community members when they stepped into the project, or was that defined by the project and they stepped into it?
It is actually two-way communications. As I said, we talk to the local community, what do needs, and at the same time, what are they available in the locations. So we design two-way projects where they benefits, win-win for both, I would say. It win-win for all, so it is beneficial for us to run the activity. At the same time, they gain benefits on what they have, on what they can also learn. And at the same time, we also invited different participants in the nearby community areas to work together in our projects. That's a key of MBL in our concept. Thank you very much.
And we'll have a last one.
I understand it's a young project, but what do you dream will be the long-term impacts?
We plan to expand as much as possible, so we wish to also cover other ASEAN countries as much as possible. As of now, we are looking forward to expand locally, especially I'm from Malaysia. We plan to have more project sites, and of course, working with potential partners. You see, having the key here is our local communities. We don't work with any Tom, Dick, and Harry because we know it will not stay sustainable, but we need to be very selective on our partners, which is our local community here. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's not enough time for another question, sorry.
No problem.
So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.